Hi friends, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Lauren if you're new here, but if you're not new, this brand may sound a little bit familiar to you because I have talked about Addiction Tokyo before. Now, I have been on a journey where I have been trying out a bunch of new products from Japan. These Japanese makeup brands are amazing, phenomenal, and Addiction Tokyo is one of those brands that I've discovered and really fallen in love with. Like, their stuff is phenomenal. So I decided I really wanted to pick up their holiday release this year. And the thing with Addiction Tokyo and a lot of different Japanese makeup brands, as I'm discovering, is they'll come out with a bunch of limited edition stuff. And unlike in America, where sometimes like it's a limited edition, you know, but it's actually limited edition. It does not come back once it sells out. And a lot of this stuff sells out fast, especially the holiday releases. So I decided that, hey, I'm gonna pick up Addiction Tokyo's holiday release this year. And they've actually come out with a couple different holiday releases. This is the first collection that they released for the holidays. I haven't picked up the second one. I don't know if I will. It's like cute, but I don't know if I absolutely need it this year. But this collection, I decided I did want. So let me show you what we're talking about today. So there's actually a few different components to this holiday collection. Let me show you the first two. These are just the boxes that they came in. They're empty right now, but they came out with the Holiday Addiction Fantasy Freefall 1, Freefall 2. So what was in these boxes? Let me show you. So this would be what came in the first box. So the collection comes with eyeshadow, a face palette, and a lip gloss as well. It's also what is on my face, and you will be seeing me do a look with it very shortly. This look, in fact, but let me show you the second one, and the one that I wasn't entirely sure I was gonna get. But this is the Freefall 2 collection, and I was intrigued. I just felt like these were great fall colors. I haven't played with this one yet. We will be playing with this one later in the video. Totally different vibes, right? Like the first one, you're getting a pastel, like kind of nutcracker vibes, you know, like pastel-y, like very airy and like iridescent. And then you're just getting some like real fall vibes with this one. So I decided to pick up both so we could play with both. I also picked up their mini lip trio, the Fantasy Freefall lip trio. And this one came with some matte liquid lips and some lip oil. So let me show you what those look like. But these are what came in the lip trio. So this looks like this is the matte lipstick color. And then these two appear to be the lip oils. So I definitely want to try some of those out today as well. But you know, I decided I wanted to do kind of just like an easy video with this collection, nothing too complicated or long. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna speed through the looks with these two collections and just set it to music so you can relax and have just like a relaxing afternoon watching how these collections perform. And then at the end of the video, I will be talking about how I feel about these collections. Now, with Japanese makeup and a lot of Asian makeup, it's much different. The colors aren't as pigmented. It's a lot more subtle. So that was something that kind of caught me by surprise when I first started using Japanese makeup. So you're gonna see there's quite a subtlety to this look compared to a lot of other looks that I do. But I'm excited to show you the process and how everything works. So let's get into the first look and then we're gonna jump right away into the second look. And yeah, let's get into it. And those are the two looks that we came up with this collection. I actually ended up taking off the lip gloss from the last look, and this lip gloss is in Cup of Joy, and I actually liked it a lot more than I thought I would. I typically don't go for such like brown neutral colors because they blend in with my lips a little too much, but this one was a really nice brown that, I don't know, I actually really like that one. But I took that off. I ended up putting on, it's right in front of me, isn't it? Yes, the matte liquid lipstick, because I wanted to see how that looked and how it wore, and I am really liking it right now. But let me talk to you about my thoughts about each part of this collection, just so you kind of know what I like, what fit my preference, and what was maybe a little bit outside what I normally go for. Let's start with the first part, which was part 1. And as a reminder, this is what came in it. And I have to say, I really enjoyed the face palette particularly. I'm gonna take these out because they're just gonna fall out. I think my favorite part of part 1 was the face palette. I thought it was so pretty. This blush is something that I would wear every single day. The highlighters I thought were different enough. Like this pastel-y one just gives like an ethereal glow. Very, very minute shimmers that kind of like blend in with the skin. The one in the middle is definitely a little more of a typical highlighter, I would say. Has a little more chunky shimmers in it. Not super chunky, not overly chunky. Not a huge fan of super chunky highlighters, and this isn't super chunky, but just when you compare it to this one, the shimmer particles are a little bit larger. But I thought that this face palette was phenomenal. I really did, because I will use it all the time. And one thing about Addiction Tokyo that I really like, and a lot of Japanese makeup, is that their formulas are so smooth and velvety. Like, they just go on so seamlessly. They just feel so great when you touch them. Like, they're just so much fun to play with. So I really liked the face palette portion of the part 1 collection. I also really liked the lip gloss. At first, I thought it was just like a neutral gloss, but it turned into like the prettiest pink color. And this is something that I will wear every day. It's super moisturizing, it's super hydrating. It just feels really great on the lips. And this lip gloss is called Petal Play, which I can barely read, it's so tiny. Now, I knew with this collection, I wasn't gonna love the eyeshadow as much as everything else. I actually really did like the pink part of it, but the blue is so light that it just is hard to see on my skin. It's definitely getting some pastel-y vibes with that blue, but what I liked about the pink side of it is it's so shimmery, and again, you're dealing with this velvety texture formula that is just goes on your eyes so smoothly and applies so seamlessly. I was able to build the pink up a little bit. I did at one point try to use my finger with the blue, and it didn't seem to make a difference, which is almost a good thing. That means that it works really well with brushes and you don't need to pull in your finger, but it still wasn't my favorite blue. But I actually did really like the pink. But I knew that with this particular collection, I was definitely gonna like the face palette a bit more than the eyeshadow. But let's talk about part 2 of the Freefall collection. So again, I really liked the face palette, but in this collection, this is the one I was a little bit worried about because it's got this blush that I was like, at first I was gonna use it as a bronzer, and then I realized it's kind of more like a bronzer, right? It works as a blush bronzer hybrid, and again, you're dealing with like the most beautiful formula. So it goes on really nice. It is a little bit red, so this is definitely what I would consider a fall face palette. It's not something I would reach for too much, probably outside of fall. Winter, yes, but spring and summer, I probably wouldn't reach for this because I don't go for a lot of super like ready undertone blushes or bronzers. They don't work on my skin tone as well. They work better on my skin tone when I'm super pale. So that's why they work in the fall and the winter. Not so much in the summer when I have even a hint of color. But for this one, I was actually surprised because I thought the highlighter in the middle was gonna be my favorite, but it, you know, it wasn't as gold as I thought it would be. Like on the skin, it just doesn't seem that gold. And the white highlighter is, again, the same formula as the first one. Super smooth and just like this glow from within color. It's so beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. Now, I don't know how often I'm going to use that bronzer color, but I know the other two I definitely will use. I like those colors quite a bit. So I did really enjoy this, not as much as part one, but I still really liked it. I actually was surprised by how much I liked the eyeshadow duo for this part of the collection. Again, you're dealing with two very different collections, right? You're dealing with one that's a lot more pastel, light, pink, girlier colors, right? And then you're dealing with something that has more of a fall aspect. You're dealing with a little more neutrality in it, a little more of, you know, like that red undertones. And I was a fan of this one, of these eyeshadows. First of all, I love a good neutral, okay? You can do so much with a good neutral color, and this one really is great. Again, like I keep repeating myself, but the formula of this collection, everything is so velvety smooth. It goes on so easily. So this one was really fun to apply and just see how it worked on my eye. I was nervous about the yellow. Yellow is not a color I use a lot, but I liked it. It was definitely like a goldy yellow. It's not overly yellow, so it's something that I think I'll be able to use a lot. I really liked it. Again, sometimes I surprise myself. And even though I know we already talked about the lip balm with this part of the collection, this is another surprise. And I just really liked how like caramely it looked on my lips. Like it was a very pretty brown. It didn't blend in with my skin at all. And it just went really well with the overall look. So this is in Cup of Joy. I don't know if they're selling any piece of this collection separately. I haven't seen it being sold separately. So that's kind of why I bought part one and part two, because I wanted parts of each of them. But I'm curious to see if they end up separating out any of the pieces and selling them separately. Have to keep an eye out for that. But both the lip glosses I just thought were really phenomenal and are going to be great for different times of the year. So it definitely felt like, you know, we have the Nutcracker Dream in part one, and then we have the fall Halloween-y vibes in part two. And I really liked that they did two completely different parts of this collection. Like the super different like face palettes. So cool. What a great idea. I love it. It's just a little bit different, you know, like to have two parts of collection that are very yin and yang. So I really like how they did that. For the lip trio that of course I am going to drop. So far we've only used the matte lipstick, but I really liked it. Like one thing I really like about Japanese lip products is that they're very light and airy. So even if you're dealing with a matte formula, it doesn't dry out your lips into oblivion, which so many matte formulas can. But I'm gonna go in really fast with this lip oil. I just wanna know how it feels. Okay, that one was super sparkly and I love it. Yeah, so it's supposed to be a lip oil. It definitely feels more like a gloss. It's pretty thick. It's really shiny though. It's very pretty. It works very well on top of that matte lipstick. And I bet this one will also work really well as a topper to that lipstick. So now I'm really excited for that combo. I bet it's gonna look good. That is the holiday release from Addiction Tokyo, at least the Freefall collection, part one and part two, and then the lip trio as well. Again, they did release something else that I'm like debating picking up, but I don't think I need right now. I think I'm just gonna stick with this collection. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a little bit of a faster, shorter one. I hope. I haven't edited it yet, but my plan was to make it a little bit shorter. I just wanted to show you the collections and show you how Japanese makeup works and how it is quite a bit different than a lot of what I have in my collection. It's a lot lighter, not as pigmented, but it's so beautiful and the formulas are so unique and special. So it's always a delight for me to play with stuff from Addiction Tokyo. They do have a US website, so I will link that down below. But I also order their stuff off of Everglow, which is where I get a lot of my Japanese makeup because they have everything and it's like falling down a rabbit hole on that website. It's dangerous, but I love it. So I actually picked these up from Everglow because I don't think they were out on the US site yet when I saw them launch, and they were selling out fast everywhere else. And I wanted to pick them up. So that's where I got them. I'll include Addiction Tokyo's US website below, as well as Everglow if you want to check either of them out. What a fun collection. The yin and yang of the different part one and part two, like the colors, it's just very, very cool. Very, very cool. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. I will see you all in the next one. Bye!